Well, hello and welcome. This is Misheard with Misheard Song Lyrics Podcast. We are in Season 3, Episode 135. We're doing our first ever Misheard song lyric from the band Carrie from their song titled If I Die Young. The misheard song lyric is, "If I die young, bury me in Saturn." And the correct lyrics is, "If I die young, bury me in Saturn." Thanks to listener Richard Burton, no relation to actor Sir Richard Burton, I don't think so. He had emailed me this misheard song lyric from the band Carrie, "If I Die Young," and Richard wrote, "Okay, this makes no sense, but when I was a kid, I thought she's saying bury me in Saturn, like being sarcastic, like I want to be out in space away from everybody." Hey, I can totally get that. Sometimes being around people is just too much, especially coming from this world of COVID. We just want our space, even in the afterlife, right, Richard? So thanks again for sending in this hilarious misheard song lyric. So let's talk about the song, the band Carrie, and let's talk about Saturn. I mean, there's some things I totally forgot as a third grader, so let's talk about it. So If I Die Young is a song written by Kimberly Perry and recorded by an American country music trio, which she's a part of, called the band Perry. It was released back on June 8, 2010. Wow, 12 years ago already? Yeah, 12. As the second single from that group's self-titled debut album, which was released back on October 12th, 2010. So before we go into Kimberly Perry and the band Perry and who they are, I'm going to talk about Saturn first, Saturn, because that is what our listener Richard Burton thought she was singing. So Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun and the second largest in the solar system after Jupiter. If you didn't know that, I didn't know that. It's been a while. They say via the interweb that it's a giant it's a gas giant with an average radius of about 9.5 times that of Earth. Ooh, it's huge. It also has 1/8 the average density of Earth. However, with its larger volume, Saturn is over 95 times more massive, definitely bigger than Earth. Its interior is mostly composed of a core of iron, nickel, and rock, which the rock is made of silicone and oxygen compounds. It's surrounded by a deep layer of metallic hydrogen, an intermediate layer of liquid hydrogen and liquid helium, and finally a gaseous outer layer. No wonder they say it's a gas giant. It also has a pale yellow color palette, or hue, due to its ammonia crystals in the upper atmosphere. And also written is an electrical current within the metallic hydrogen layer is thought to give rise to Saturn's planetary magnetic field, interesting, which is weaker than Earth's, but has a magnetic moment, whatever that means, 580 times that of Earth due to Saturn's larger size. And like I said, I think earlier, that Saturn's magnetic field strength is around 1/12 of Jupiter, okay? And the interesting thing is the outer atmosphere is generally bland and lacking in contrast, although long-lived features can appear. Wind speeds on Saturn can reach up to 1,100 miles per hour, yikes, higher than on Jupiter, but not as high as Neptune. And the big did you know is the planet's most notable feature are the prominent ring system around Saturn, which is mainly composed of ice particles with a smaller amount of rocky debris and dust. And during those rings, there's at least 83 moons, that's amazing, are known to orbit Saturn, of which 53 are officially named, and I'm guessing the other 30 are not, and this does not include the hundreds of moonlets in its ring. Titan, Saturn's largest moon and the second largest in the solar system, is larger than the planet Mercury, although less massive, and is the only moon in the solar system to have a substantial atmosphere. Interesting. The largest moon is Titan with Saturn. So there you go about Saturn. So you at least know something about that. Well, let's talk about the actual song itself and the band Perry. So the band Perry is a music group made up of siblings. That makes sense. So we have the lead vocalist guitar, Kimberly Perry, sister. Brother Reed Perry does bass guitar, background vocals, and then Neil Perry plays a mandolin, bouzouki, and background vocals. So it's a sister, brother. They signed on with Republic National back in August 2009, and then again released the band Perry self-titled debut album back on October 12, 2010. From this album, the song If I Die Young reached #1 in the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs and Hot Adult Contemporary Tracks, and has been certified 6 times multi-platinum. I did not know that. And then they had a second album called Pioneer, which was released on April 2nd, 2013. It produced additional #1 singles in, I here it is. One was called Better Dig 2, and another song called Done, plus the top 10 hits, Don't Let Me Be Lonely, and Chainsaw. And then interesting enough, because if you go on the internet to look at the music video, there's a couple versions. There's the country version, and then the pop version, which almost looks like the country version, almost sounds like it, but has some different scenery added in there. So interesting that they decided, we're going to go pop. So they transitioned to pop in 2017 and began to release music independently in 2018. So in the earlier days, Kimberly Perry, the lead and the sister in this band, sang in her own band as a teenager with her brothers Neil and Reed working as roadies. And at age, 8 and 10, the brothers began performing as an opening act, the Mobile Music Machines for Kimberly. And then Kimberly released an EP titled Carrie On with a song of the same name, inspiring 2 songs on Pioneer, which is the second album I shared earlier. Once they united to form as the band Perry, that's when Lightning in the Bottle hit, they joined a New Faces of Country tour in 2005. The big did you know with them is in 2008, 3 years later, they were discovered by Garth Brooks' manager Bob Doyle, who helped them make recordings that were sent to a Scott Borchetta, who's the head of the newly established Republic Nashville, who they signed on with. And again, they signed on to Republic Nashville in August of 2009 and then released their debut single, Hip to My Heart. So what is this song about? It's not about being, buried in Saturn, the planet, but more in Saturn. But what is Kimberly singing about? Because she wrote this. Well, of course, it's about a song of sadness of dying young. And then she says in here, one of the lyrics is the sharp knife of a short life. As the narrator describes how she never really got to experience love, worrying about how her loved ones will miss her and deal with the loss. And then she also recognizes that someone is passed, so others seem to pay more attention to this person's life. There's a lyric in there where she sings, and maybe then you'll hear the words I've been singing. Funny, when you're dead, how people start listening. Interesting. She also states that if she dies young, then her family left behind should save their tears for a time when they're really going to need them. So she said she has lived a well-lived life in the line, well, I've had just enough time, even if it was short. Fan response was amazing. One did you know fan response, pretty interesting. The band Perry received at least one letter in response to the song. In its envelope, the members also found a necklace with a ring to it. Ominous. The letter's author was a young girl who had recently lost her best friend to cancer, and while she was mourning her friend's death, she was actually contemplating committing suicide, and that's how sad she was. And then driving from work one day, she heard If I Die Young on the radio. I tell you, the power of music. And hearing so much life in the song, the girl changed her mind. In her letter to the band Perry, she wrote about the necklace. I'm sending this to you because it's the most important thing I own. This song literally saved my life. Wow, it's pretty powerful. Well, how did the song do? Well, it did quite well. Like I shared earlier, it was in the U.S. Billboard Hot Country Songs chart for the week of May 29, 2010. It also debuted on the number 92 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 chart for the week of July 24, 2010. So let's talk about the slow rise of this song. So back in October 2010, it became the group's first top 10 single on the Hot Country charts, as well as their first top 20 on the Hot 100 chart. The song became their first #1 hit on the Hot Country charts, like I said, for the week of December 11, 2010. And then in early 2011, the song was remixed by Matt Ward and Dean Gillard for pop radio. The remix debuted at number 36 on the U.S. Billboard Pop Songs chart and number 29 on the U.S. Billboard Adult Contemporary chart for the week of June 11, 2011. So they remixed it, had a more pop edge to it, and it did quite well. With the remix impacting pop radio, the song re-entered the Hot 100 chart as number 46 for the week of June 25th, 2011, and it has since reached a new peak of number 14. Then in May 2011, the song sold over 2 million copies, not bad. The 11th country music song to do that, and only the 4th time that a band reaches this plateau was followed by Lady A, formerly Lady Antebellum, Zac Brown Band, and Rascal Flatts. At the time, If I Die Young song was the highest selling single to miss the top 10, and as of August 24, 2015, If I Die Young surpassed 5 million downloads. Wow. It also, in July of 2011, the song reached the top 15 of the Billboard Hot 100 chart in its 35th chart week, making it the slowest climb into the top 15. Hey, it doesn't matter if you win the race in this. It's, again, just taking your time getting to the top. It actually broke the slowest climb record that was previously held by Carrie Underwood's Before He Cheats, did not know that, and Taylor Swift's Teardrops on My Guitar. So it beat those two out. Both songs took 33 weeks. Remember, they hit 35 weeks to hit the top 15. The song spent 53 weeks on Billboard's Hot 100 chart and is their best-selling single to date. It is also the song with 53 or more weeks that ended its chart run in 2011. Amazing. Okay, have you seen the music video? I know there's actually 2 versions. So I looked at both, but I'm going to talk about the country version, which I'm assuming is the first version. So it was directed by David McAllister, premiered on CMT, or Country Music Television, on May 27, 2010. In the video, you see the band is showing Kimberly Perry, beautiful blonde hair, curly, in a canoe before pushing out to the river, and she is holding a book. When you kind of span in, it's a book containing poems by Tennyson, including the specific, I guess, poem or story, The Lady Shallot, which is what you see open to that at the end of the music video. And they say that the video actually echoes a scene from Anne and of Green Gables, which I never used to read those books when I was young, but a lot of my girlfriends did in grade school, in which Anne attempts to appear as the lady of the poem. And it shows an actress, we're assuming as Kimberly's mother, and her love interest, played by a Christian singer, actor, Kyle Kopecki, are shown plucking flower petals, and visibly depressed she is left, okay? Eventually her canoe begins to take on water and she sits up. Once this occurs, her 2 brothers come back for her. When she gets back to her house, her mother and love interest embrace her. So maybe she didn't die. That's where I get confused. The video was filmed on location at 2 Rivers Mansion outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And throughout the video, the band is also shown performing with their instruments inside of the house. And you see one of the brothers playing the mandolin and one, I think, playing an accordion, but I don't really hear the accordion in the song. So beautiful, beautiful music video, beautiful voices. I haven't heard about the band Perry since when they went pop, so you never know. They might pop up here and there. But again, I appreciate this funny misheard song lyric from our listener, Richard Burton. Shout out to you, my friend. And it's not about bury me in Saturn, the gaseous of all planets, but it's bury me in satin, the slippery 70s, 80s fabric, you know, that were made of sheets as well, or sheets were made from. So if you have any great suggestions, like our listener, Richard Burton, please send them to my email at gmail at misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs at gmail.com, or you can send me a DM, as the youngins would say, in any of our social media sites like Facebook, let's see, Twitter, as well as, what else are we on? Oh yeah, Instagram. And we can, you know, if we decide to do a story of your misheard song like suggestion, you guys shout out as well. So till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.